You really think I can win?
Living Single was a jumping off point for another huge sitcom on NBC, right?
Yes, Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out. What you want, your position?
Cue that throwback 90s sitcom intro. Did you ever wonder why Living Single just disappeared from TV? This iconic show, celebrating Black friendships and life in the 90s that made you wish they were your actual friends.
It's part of my heritage. It is a statement of pride.
Sitcoms thrive on snappy one-liners and perfectly timed punchlines. But let's be real, sometimes the most iconic lines come from a total oops moment. So spill the tea. Which legendary zinger from this show was actually a blooper that made the cut?
She doesn't deserve these.
She's quitting.
Give me my flowers.
So here's a fun tidbit from TV history. Word on the street is, the iconic set from Living Single was actually recycled from another classic show, Family Matters. Yup, before Living Single hit the scene, that same set had already been in front of TV screens during the first season of Family Matters. The Living Single team just gave it a little makeover to fit their show's needs. Pretty cool, right? Talk about making the most of what you've got. The Living Single girls' apartment was totally revamped to match each of their personalities. The set designers went all out, adding bold decor and cool touches that reflected the diverse and lively lives of Khadijah, Synclaire, Regine, and the crew. This makeover turned the apartment into the perfect hangout spot, giving us that warm, familiar feel as the characters navigated their Brooklyn adventures.
All right, which one of you lucky people is going to zip me up?
Reusing sets is actually pretty common in TV because it saves money and resources. But what really made the Living Single set stand out was how they gave it a fresh twist. The creative touches they added gave the show its own unique feel and made the whole thing pop on screen.
You really think I can win?
When Living Single dropped, it made serious waves by putting 4 African-American women front and center, something we hadn't really seen on a major network sitcom before. The show followed Khadijah, Queen Latifah, Synclaire, Kim Coles, Regine, Kim Fields, and Maxine, Erika Alexander, as they dealt with life, love, and friendship in Brooklyn. I gave us a real, fresh look at African-American women as complex, multidimensional characters, each with their own quirks and goals. Fans totally connected with them, and it quickly became one of the top sitcoms of its time. Plus, it helped launch the careers of its cast, many of whom went on to do big things in Hollywood. In 2008, the Living Single cast reunited for a special 1-hour episode called Living Single: The Reunion Show. Kim, Erika, TC, John, and the other Kim got together to share stories from behind the scenes, talk about their time on the show, and give fans a major dose of nostalgia. It was a feel-good reunion that brought back all the classic moments we loved. Queen Latifah wasn't part of the Living Single reunion, but that didn't stop fans from loving the special. Everyone else showed up, and it was a blast watching the cast reunite and relive all those classic moments from the show. Fans were here for it.
You will change your tune when you see what I got for you.
So get this, word on the street is, during the show, Kim Fields, Regine, and John Henton Overton actually had a short-lived romance. They got close while working together, and some think it was obvious that they had some serious chemistry, both on-screen and off. But like most TV show romances, it didn't last, and they eventually went their separate ways.
Elizabeth Arden Travel Tote. You have.
The characters on Living Single definitely took some notes from A Different World, another show Yvette Lee Bowser worked on as a writer and producer. A Different World was ahead of its time, focusing on the lives of students at a fictional, historically Black college.
Are you saying this is none of my business?
There you go.
Word on the street is, when Yvette Lee Bowser created Living Single, she took a lot of inspiration from her time working on A Different World. You can totally see the influence in the characters and their dynamics. For example, Khadijah, Queen Latifah, has that same strong, independent energy as Whitley from A Different World. Plus, the tight friendships and funny moments in Living Single definitely remind us of the chemistry and humor we saw in the earlier show. Yvette Lee Bowser is a total game changer in TV, kind of like how people compare Shonda Rhimes for making waves in the industry. She kicked off her career on A Different World, a spin-off from The Cosby Show, and quickly moved up the ranks to become a key producer. Then, in 1993, she created Living Single, making history as the first Black woman to develop her own primetime series. The show was a massive hit, running for 5 seasons and giving a real fresh look at Black women's lives, with a cast that was mostly African American. So, Yvette's journey in TV started back in A Different World in 1987, where she began as an apprentice and worked her way up to producer by 1991. After that, she made the move to Hangin' with Mr. Cooper. Not one to sit still, she launched her own production company, Sister Lee Productions, which ended up creating or co-producing Living Single and Half. She's mentioned that a lot of her characters and stories come from her own life and the experiences of her friends. In her words, she basically rips pages out of her diary to write these shows. For Half, for example, she based characters Mona and Dee Dee on herself and her half-sister, with plot lines reflecting her own life as the youngest in a blended family. Bowser didn't stop there. She went on to be the showrunner for the Netflix hit Dear White People, adapted from Justin Simeon's movie. Then in 2020, she took the reins on Run the World, a Starz series created by Lee Davenport. Living Single totally slayed when it came to representation and storytelling, picking up a ton of love and awards along the way. The show snagged 4 808 CP Image Awards, which are basically the ultimate shout-out for celebrating Black excellence in the arts. It was praised for doing its part in making TV more real and relatable for viewers, especially with its spotlight on strong Black characters.
I gotta agree with my little Maya Angelou here. Come on, girl, you can't quit.
People still can't help but wonder if Friends was really that original or if it was low-key inspired by Living Single. After Living Single dropped, Friends came out the next year with a very similar concept. Same group of friends, same hangout spots, but with an all-white cast. It definitely sparked some drama, with many calling Friends a ripoff. Even the creators of Friends admitted they knew about Living Single when they pitched their show. Queen Latifah, who starred in Living Single, pointed out in interviews how Friends got way more money, hype, and episodes, even though her show had basically the same premise. People are left wondering if race had anything to do with how the two shows were treated. This isn't the first time Hollywood's pulled this move. There are plenty of examples where white creators took ideas from Black artists and turned them into bigger hits. Like, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air had a spin-off idea, but instead Friends ended up getting the green light. It's a story we've seen time and time again in the industry, where Black creativity gets copied or straight up taken without a shout-out. The whole Friends versus Living Single debate is major because it highlights how Black stories sometimes get pushed aside, while similar white ones get all the praise. Sure, Friends blew up worldwide, but it's key to recognize Living Single for being one of the first shows to show a group of friends living it up in a big city. Fans of Friends might not even realize that Living Single laid the groundwork for that style of storytelling. At the end of the day, it's all about giving credit where it's due and remembering that Hollywood's got a history of borrowing ideas without giving the original creators their props, especially when it comes to Black voices.
It's part of my heritage. It is a statement of pride.
But things took a weird turn in May 1997. Fox, the network behind the show, announced they'd be giving Living Single a 13-episode 5th season, and fans were hyped. But then, Fox pulled a fast one. Instead of airing the new season right away, they hit the pause button. At first, they promised the episodes would drop in January 1998, but then they switched it up again and pushed the release to September 11, 1997, after ditching a show called Rewind. Talk about a curveball. When season 5 finally dropped, fans couldn't help but notice something was off. The energy felt kind of flat, and the jokes didn't hit like they used to. Some people kept watching, but it just wasn't the same. Behind the scenes, the cast wasn't feeling it either. They were upset about the pay and how Fox wasn't giving the show the attention it deserved anymore. A lot of them thought Fox was too busy hyping up Friends, which had just launched around the same time. The last episode of season 5 dropped on January 1st, 1998, and left fans totally hanging. Was the show done for good? Were we gonna get more episodes? Unfortunately, that was the last time new episodes of Living Single hit the screen, leaving a lot of questions and no proper farewell. Fans were pretty upset, feeling like the show deserved way more than that. But hey, let's just switch gears and see what the cast is up to now. First up, Queen Latifah.
Do I? This magazine has become my whole life. Not much time for anything else.
Queen Latifah totally became a star for her role as Khadijah James on Living. Single Khadijah was the smart, funny editor of a magazine with a group of friends who were all kind of quirky, making the show both hilarious and feel-good. But there was a deeper, personal story behind the character. Latifah wore a key around her neck that wasn't just some accessory, it meant a lot to her. The key Queen Latifah wore was a tribute to her older brother, Lance Owens Jr., who tragically passed away in a motorcycle accident. It was the key to the bike Latifah had given him, and wearing it helped her keep his memory alive. Losing him was tough. She and Lance were super close. For Latifah, that key became a quiet way to honor him while she was on set. Before living single, Queen Latifah was already killing it in the music scene. She dropped her first rap album at 19 and quickly became a huge name in hip-hop. By the time she joined the show, she was more than ready to take over TV too. And we're definitely glad she did. She was loved for her confidence and talent, but not many knew the tough stuff she was going through behind the scenes. That key necklace she wore, it wasn't just a fashion statement, it was a tribute to her brother, keeping their bond alive every single day. Life wasn't always a walk in the park for Latifah. A few years after losing her brother, she went through another nightmare. She and her then boyfriend, Sean Moon, got carjacked. Sean was shot, but thankfully made it. The whole thing shook Latifah to her core, but she later said those tough moments helped her grow into the strong woman we all know today. After living single, Queen Latifah's acting career took off like crazy. She landed huge roles, kicking things off with Set It Off, where she proved she could play tough and hold her own. From there, she was everywhere. Comedy hits like Bringing Down the House and musicals like Hairspray. She totally mastered the jump from music to TV to movies, becoming one of Hollywood's most respected stars and picking up tons of fans along the way.
You jumped in the right cab today. I don't usually stop for white guys. My way of balancing the universe.
Queen Latifah didn't just stop at acting. She had her own talk show, The Queen Latifah Show, inspired by Oprah's way of connecting with people and tackling big topics. She's been racking up awards like crazy, a Grammy, an Emmy, a Golden Globe, and an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. She's also snagged tons of NAACP Image Awards. Her impact has inspired artists like Lauryn Hill, Megan Thee Stallion, and Keke Palmer. These days, with a net worth around $70 million, she's still killing it in music, TV, and film. Even though she's always been in the spotlight, Queen Latifah has kept her personal life on the down low. People were curious about her relationships, but she stayed pretty private. In 2021, though, at the BET Awards, she opened up about her relationship with Ebony Nichols and their son. It was a sweet moment where she shared her love for her family and her choice to live life on her terms. Now at 54, Queen Latifah is still hustling, acting, making music, and speaking up for causes she cares about. She's shown that with strength and passion, you can crush personal struggles and make it big in whatever you do.
Oh God, he's here! It's Michael, he's here!
Did you know Kim Coles wasn't the first pick to play Synclaire on Living Single? Yep, that role was supposed to go to Simone Jackson, aka Monique, Queen Latifah's BFF. But when Monique passed, Kim stepped in and absolutely owned it. She brought Synclaire's quirky, cheerful energy to life, nailing every funny, clumsy moment. Remember her practicing acting by repeating eggplant over and over? Iconic. Before Living Single, Kim was already cracking people up on In Living Color. Joining the Living Single cast was a total game changer for her. Synclaire quickly became a fan favorite thanks to Kim's perfect comedic timing and sweet, silly charm. Plus, her chemistry with the rest of the cast, unmatched. It's no wonder the show blew up and Kim's career took off. After Living Single, Kim kept the laughs coming in shows like 6 Feet Under and My Wife and Kids. She also hosted the BET game show Pay It Off and popped up in a bunch of TV guest spots. On top of all that, she's a writer too. Her book, I'm Free, But It Will Cost You, dives into her life and the highs and lows of showbiz. With all her work, she's built up a solid net worth of around $3 million. As for her personal life, Kim's been married twice. She was with Aton Edwards for 10 years, then tied the knot with former SWAT officer Reggie McIver in 2015, but they called it quits in 2019. Even with the ups and downs, Kim's kept her signature positive energy and stayed a beloved star.
Ladies, I've got good news and I couldn't wait till you got home to rub your nose.
Kim Fields is forever iconic as Regine Hunter on Living Single. Regine was all about the glitz, glam, and drama, always trying to steal the spotlight. But let's be real, Her charm made her unforgettable. Turns out the actress behind Regine has an equally cool backstory. Kim grew up surrounded by showbiz. Her mom, Chip Fields, was a triple threat: singer, actress, and TV director. So Kim was basically raised on set. She got her big break as a kid, playing Tootie Ramsey on the classic sitcom The Facts of Life. That role put her on the map and set her up for her Hollywood glow-up. After living single, Kim didn't slow down. She switched lanes into directing, working on Tyler Perry movies and helming episodes of BET's Let's Stay Together. On screen, she popped up on The Real Housewives of Atlanta for a one-season stint, gave us ballroom moves on Dancing with the Stars, and most recently, crushed it in Netflix's comedy The Upshaws alongside Mike Epps and Wanda Sykes. Whether she's acting, directing, or making reality TV appearances, Kim proves she's always got something up her sleeve.
So Khadijah's in a bind. Doesn't anyone care about me?
Let's not forget Maxine Shaw, the attorney who made every scene better. Played by Erika Alexander, Max was sharp, sassy, and full of hilarious chaos that kept the group on their toes. Forget high-powered lawyer stereotypes. Maxine was here to stir the pot, not clean it up. Before her days as Max, Erika was already a familiar face thanks to her role as Pam Tucker on The Cosby Show. That gig gave her the spotlight, but her acting chops took her way further. She wasn't just a sitcom queen either. Around the same time, she starred alongside Whoopi Goldberg in The Long Walk Home, flexing her dramatic skills in a film about the civil rights movement. But let's be real, her role as Maxine Shaw was the one that truly sealed the deal. Maxine was the perfect mix of wit, strength, and laugh-out-loud moments, turning Erika into a TV legend. It's no wonder fans still talk about her like she's the boss of sitcom history.
Stay upstairs. I gotta go.
Regine's on-screen boo, Overton, played by John Henton. Overton wasn't just the group's go-to handyman. He was the sweetheart head over heels for Synclaire, Kim Coles. But John's road to stardom, totally different. Back in the day, John Henton was doing stand-up when he got spotted by a scout from The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. One set later, his career skyrocketed, and before you knew it, he was part of the Living Single crew. Overton's mix of charm and comedy made him unforgettable. Life after the show wasn't all smooth sailing, though. John scored another big role in The Huleys with D.L. Hewley, but things took a dark turn when he got into a horrific car accident. The injuries were intense: broken legs, a wrecked eye socket, and 9 missing teeth. It took plastic surgery to put his face back together. Still, John didn't let that hold him back. He returned to the Huleys and kept acting for a while. But eventually, he stepped away from TV and went back to where it all started: stand-up. These days, he's out there killing it on comedy stages, keeping the laughs coming in person instead of on screen.
But I will say it was refreshing being with someone who wasn't afraid to tell me that she enjoyed my company.
Terrence T.C. Carson played the suave Kyle Barker. Kyle was the total package: charming, smooth, and always dressed to impress. Fans couldn't get enough of him, and Carson's performance was straight up iconic. But behind the scenes, his Hollywood journey has been anything but easy. Before Living Single made him a star, TC was already shining on stage. He crushed it in musicals like The Wiz and Dreamgirls, showing off some serious acting and singing chops. He even dipped into film, making a splash in the comedy Livin' Large. But while Living Single put him on the map, it also came with drama that would follow him long after the show. In a chat with Comedy Hype, TC got real about his struggles after leaving the show. Apparently, some industry folks started spreading rumors that he was hard to work with. They claimed he wasn't showing up prepared or putting in the effort. TC shut down those accusations, calling them pure lies, but the damage was already done. Those whispers, they made casting directors think twice, and suddenly doors that were wide open slammed shut. This wasn't just about TC, though. It's a bigger issue in Hollywood, especially for Black actors. A single rumor can wreck your reputation, and the industry isn't quick to forget. It's a pattern. Talented Black performers unfairly labeled as difficult and then sidelined, no matter how false the claims are. For TC, it wasn't just his career that took a hit. His personal life did too. Struggling to find meaningful work left him frustrated and heartbroken. Hollywood's all about connections, and once people hear your trouble, getting back in the game feels impossible. Instead of landing roles that matched his skills, he was left with scraps, which didn't sit right with him. And that's a wrap. Living Single wasn't just another sitcom. It gave us iconic characters, endless laughs, and some seriously unforgettable moments. From the on-screen magic to the backstage stories, this show left a mark that's still hard to top. So next time you're binging episodes or dropping your favorite one-liners, remember, Living Single set the stage for so many of the shows we love today. Catch you next time for more behind-the-scenes scoop.